MSNBC is changing its name.
They're changing their name.
The American institution of MSNBC. I mean, it's jarring to lose that close working relationship, which is how it started between Microsoft and NBC.
Right.
So
MS
weird.
for Microsoft and NBC.
Yes.
And Microsoft has been out of this for a long time, haven't they?
Yes, they've been out of it for a long time, but they kept the MS in there.
Why?
I don't know. I can't explain many of the things they do. Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think most people would be, that wouldn't remember it, would be shocked to realize that Microsoft was once a big part of this. It was supposed to be. I think it was the first embrace of digital at that level, right? Like it was a big deal at that time. Didn't last all that long.
There's nothing that says credibility more than the mainstream media and Bill Gates.
Right.
When you put those two things together, you got something special. You really do.
So
is NBC suing MSNBC? Like,
no,
hey, we even can't have our name on that.
They're spinning them off. So NBC is spinning off MSNBC into its own separate company. They're apparently hiring right now because they're losing access to the NBC News room. So they need to hire a whole new batch of horrible journalists that make a mockery of the profession to bring over there.
When does this happen? When does this go through?
The official change, I don't know. This is the first date they're announcing the new name. Let's see if I can find when that actually happens.
The new name.
It launched, by the way, in 1996. In case you were wondering how long this thing's been around, it seems like it was 1896 or 1796, but
I know.
I don't know. It
actually had some credibility at the very beginning.
Yeah,
I think Lester Holt started on MSNBC.
Yeah,
and back in the 90s,
it was seen. I mean, it was still left leaning, but almost it's left leaning the way you'd expect every other.
Correct.
Piece of crap, mainstream broadcast to be. It was like CNN. Like it was like left-leaning, but not necessarily completely insane. Now, both of them since then have gone completely insane. And, they went through the Keith Olbermann period. And, I mean, they've gone far off the rails, obviously, at this point. But we know that the new name is. Do you want to guess? Do you have any idea? Have you seen this?
Crap Can.
It is Crap Can. Yes, Crap Can News. You're right. No,
that's not CN. That's CCN. It might be.
Yeah, different one.
Might be too confusing. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Go ahead. What is it?
It is MS Now.
So let me see if I have this right. MS hasn't been a part of MSNBC since the turn of the century.
Years and years and years, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But they're going to keep the MS part.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the N. And the N.
And the N.
They're only changing two letters. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. They're like, we can just cut those two letters out of everything and just put OW there instead of BC.
Now, other than the fact that MS Now sounds like a plea for multiple sclerosis, do you want to take a venture, a guess, as to what this actually stands for? Each letter stands for something.
Oh, it's an acronym.
Yes, MS Now.
News.
You're skipping MS, but yes, news. News is correct. You got that right. So that one's right.
So you got to get the MS too. It's not Microsoft. I have no idea.
Do you want me to tell you what it is?
I do, because I think it's going to be highly entertaining.
Yeah. My source. News.
My source.
Opinion. World.
So we have, do they have cavemen working at their ad agency? My source, news, opinion, world. Fire, good.
I mean, I will say the IQ level is about there, yeah.
My source, news, opinion, and world?
Yes. Now, you're a guy who's done this, right? The Blaze, you came up with the name of that, GBTV before that.
Torch.
The Torch coming soon to you. You also have many radio stations that you programmed back in the day where you would look at what they were presenting. And so if you're looking at all that as an expert in this field, how would you grade this rebrand for MSNBC?
Does 0 count? Because usually it's 10 to 1, 1 to 10. Right. Can I include 0 or negative numbers? That is the worst rebranding I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Just start fresh from the very beginning. Come up with something good.
Yeah. But they're trying to obviously bridge that gap to, hey, this is what we've always been. So you get the MS, gives you a little bit of familiarity. The logo.
So it's going to be, so wait. Mm-hmm. So it's not MS Now. It's good. They're going to call it MSNOW.
I think they're going to call it MS Now. I think they're trying to keep the MS as something,
again, that only people think of multiple sclerosis. Nobody thinks of Microsoft.
Nobody thinks
of multiple sclerosis.
They don't want anybody to think of Microsoft. They haven't been involved in it forever. The only thing
they'd rather have you think of a debilitating disease.
Yes.
Than Microsoft.
That is better than their reputation.
Yes, it is.
The other thing, you could look at it, if you wanted to, they could go the feminist direction and call it Ms. Now.
Oh my gosh.
That could be something they could try.
Oh my gosh.
Now.
Is that sounds like something they would love, because it indicates to me it's an absolute guaranteed flaming just ball of death as it hits the ground. Ms. Now. That just sounds like something that we should do that.
We should do that.
And everybody else is like,
message.
no, you're going to crash this plane into the side of the mountain. It's just going to be a fiery ball of wreckage. It's not good.
To be clear, the plane has only been flying like 2 feet off the ground for many, many years.
I know.
Yes, they might actually crash it this time. I could see Ms. Now actually being the way they go, which would be even more comical, though that would require them, I think, in theory, to define what a woman is if they went with Ms. Now. So that might not work either. This is a tough one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when is this happening?
I have not seen the exact date. It is supposed to be soon. The spinoff was announced last winter. They initially said they would be keeping its name, but then during the transitional period, they decided that they needed a new separate identity.
So can I ask you, why, who's making these decisions and hiring? NBC? Is NBC like, you know what? We're going to staff and design our competitor.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, because it does.
Why would you do that?
One of the statements I saw said NBC Universal decided. So I guess because they haven't fully spun off yet, they actually are making these decisions. Maybe they have a bet.
So they're just
low the
spinning it off,
go?
but they're keeping. Are they keeping it in the Universal Comcast world?
I don't think so.
Selling
it's a separate company. I think it's going to be sold separate company.
Why wouldn't you just sell the position? Why wouldn't you just sell the cable access? Like Current did. Remember when Current sold it to?
Right.
They couldn't sell that. They wouldn't sell. Al Gore would not sell Current TV to Glenn Beck because I was so un-American, in his own words, that he sold it to Al Jazeera.
Right. I remember this.
The company that bought it with oil money from Al Gore. So that made a lot of sense to him. So why wouldn't they just sell that position? Why wouldn't they just go, it's up for sale? Why would you buy something that NBC created? So wait a minute, you hired everybody, but you hired them because you wouldn't give anybody on NBC a role there. So you were like, why would you have hired? You find anybody good, you'd be like, yeah, save those guys for NBC. This guy belongs at Ms. Now. That's what we're calling it from here on out, Stu. That's good.
Ms. Now. Ms. Now.
Yeah. Ms. Now is just too good.
Now, remember, too, at one point, Elon Musk contemplated the potential purchase of MSNBC.
He's smarter than that.
Yeah.
Why would you want a cable news company? What is he, in a time machine? He got back into a time machine. I'd like to do that, and I'd like a printing press too.
That's a fair point. I will say that, and the color scheme and like the logo is really basic. It looks terrible, honestly, and this is going to go, I think, poorly, Glenn. Poorly.
That's saying something. When MSNBC is designing something that you think might be worse than MSNBC.
Shocking.
But
Shocking
maybe,
you could do it. You know,
Yeah,
if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, Glenn, including making MSNBC even worse.
I mean, that's like if we designed it. Honestly, it would be like, okay, all right, let's hire a bunch of lefties. We're going to call it Ms. Now. we're gonna lead with, oh my gosh, look at that. We're gonna lead with guy cheerleaders and communism. It's going to be big. I mean, that sounds like something I would design for them to either make fun of them or just to be, let's see if we can. Do you remember when I told you I went to that opera called The Nose? I took my daughter to the opera. She loved opera. And it was, honestly, I don't even know what the story was, but it was, the main character was a nose. So it's a giant nose with feet coming out of the nostrils. And I said, at the time, this was written by somebody who was like, these opera snobs. I'm going to write this whole thing. It makes no sense. It's awful. But I'm going to say, oh, no, you just don't get it. You don't get the nose with the feet coming out. You don't get it? Well, I guess so. And they sold it just because opera snobs didn't want to say, I don't get it. Okay? You had to get it or you weren't cool. I think this might be. This might be a play on like, how bad can we make this thing to see if we can get these lefties and go, you don't get Ms. Now? You don't understand that? All right, well, whatever. No, I get it. I think it's genius. In fact, I want to pay more for it. What a bunch of dopes.